I have a new phrase that basically symbolizes when there's a gaming failure so cataclysmic that it literally just destroys so many people's hopes and dreams. It's just an expression I think everyone can adopt pretty easily. It's just, OUYA.
I had a completely different thought.
What was that?
I can't say it in the first minute of the video.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to buy some time so I can tell my joke.
Okay. Well, here's what I'll say. The whole deal with this video is that the reason why we're watching it is because of a ransom. So I'm joking.
It's more a bribe. Really.
It is a bribe. Yes, Steven, if you want to know why we're watching it, well, we were going to react to this anyway, but we got fast-tracked into it because of a lovely young chap by the name of Steven. So yeah, Steven, thank you for your recommendation on this, and also not only that, but holy crap. This, I got reminded of, the cataclysmic failure of the OUYA so quickly that I couldn't believe it. I was just like, it was gone out of my psyche. And then this popped up. I'm like, oh my god, this was a thing. Holy crap.
Alright, you want me to tell my joke now?
Please do.
So I've heard Sin Puppy Rick do this, for sure. But their first mistake was naming their console after the sound that Latino people like to make when they're referring to the sound that girls make during sex. OUYA!
OUYA!
OUYA, Papi! I've heard Rick do that. I've heard a lot of my Latino friends do that joke. I can't do it the same way because I'm not Latino, I guess.
OUYA!
So.
Yeah,
but
God.
that's exactly what pops into my head when I read that. I'm like, that's like one of my Latino friends doing that fucking creepy sexual sound.
So
now you know why I couldn't say it in the first minute of the video.
Yes. Well, 2 minutes in, and here we are with that joke behind us. So, worst ever, the OUYA failure by Rerez. So, Rerez, we watched a video of his not too long ago, and we like Rerez pretty good. But honestly, sometimes I look back on these videos and I'm just like, do I have to be reminded of the failures that make me look back as a gamer and just realize sometimes people look back with rose-tinted glasses, just be like, gaming was so much better back in the day. To an extent, yes, but also to another extent, hell to the no. Gaming was not better in certain ways. It was better in certain ways. For instance, they made games for gamers, and not everything was had to be a live service. Not everything had to have microtransactions.
I think that anybody that thinks that gaming has been better or worse in a certain era of gaming has always been looking in the wrong places for the good things. Because there have been good things in every single year of gaming.
One thing I will say about nowadays is that the ease of access and point of entry for people wanting to develop video games is now at its lowest point as it's ever been, especially for high-end tools like Unreal Engine 5. The different engines that are out there that are free to use and everything. It's unbelievable.
That's Pirate Software's whole thing.
Yeah.
They're just trying to convince more people to make games because it's easier than it's ever been to make stuff.
And he's right.
He wants to be able to play the cool things that people make. So.
And Thor's right. I mean, Thor is 100% on the nose with that. I mean, the dude has been developing games as long as he has been an adult. And the fact that he's literally just like, I can show you how to do points of entry on these. Also, not only that, but I know ways to also potentially help you secure funding in order for you to make said video game. It's like, dude, that's awesome. That's amazing. And you see, here's the thing with it is the OUYA tried to do something that honestly I can get behind. It tried to basically be a point of entry into the independent gaming market that, honestly, if they would have treated it like the Xbox Live Arcade, I think it could have been more successful. But because of no QA control, and because they literally allowed anything and everything that existed onto the platform, it basically became just like the Atari did back in the day, and thus it died before it even had a chance to begin. Because the quality of games on it was just not good. if I am the creators of OUYA, I want a guarantee of at least 30 decent like entry level games that each cost like $5 to $10 a piece. That's what I would have recommended. And there was one game that everyone said was like the game to get on the OUYA, and that was Towerfall. And Towerfall's a fun game, but here's the problem with Towerfall. It got released on Steam, and that version is like even better because it includes more stuff. Yeah.
It's also on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's on PlayStation as well. Like, and
so, I mean, like, apparently one of the best games on the system is on, like, everything else. You don't need that system anyways.
Exactly. But here's my thing with OUYA is, like, I can respect its attempt to do something, but its execution is just, it's head-shakingly bad. But either way, I guess we're going to see what Rerez has to say about the OUYA. So let's get into it. Here we go.
2013 was a year of console launches. We welcomed platforms like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and started to let the previous year's Wii U gather a fine layer of dust that would stay there forever. But there was one other console that developed quite a lot of buzz that year. It's around here somewhere. One sec. Aha! The OUYA. This little guy promised some pretty great
Looks
things.
like a Bluetooth
Look
speaker.
at the ideas.
It does, yeah, that's the thing. And here's the thing, I can respect like the size of it and everything. It's a fairly powerful machine for the size it was, but it's just not. It's just it doesn't stand out. It looks uniform, and instead of it standing out and being something that's like truly like jaw dropping, it's just like, oh, it's a Bluetooth speaker.
People make fun of every single design of every single major console nowadays when they get released. But nobody can lie to themselves and say they don't have personality.
Yeah, for instance, okay, case in point. This son of a gun. I cannot tell you how much crap that Nintendo got when they released this. The GameCube. When they released the GameCube, everyone was just like, oh, it's just a cube. It looks so silly. Now it's seen as one of the most integrally, like, important, like, consoles ever because of how original its design is and everything. And then you have the N64, which basically, I'll say this, is literally built like an Impala 6.4. That's how wide this fucker is. It's so weird looking. But people look back on this fondly. Then you have basically the black box of the wedge, as they call it, of the PlayStation 4. And the wedge made it stand out more than the Xbox One because the Xbox One was literally a VCR.
That's still probably my personal favorite console design right there.
The wedge?
The reason being because it's not just a boring square. They did a little bit to it, like in terms of making it a wedge shape, is making it look unique and have personality. But also, it sits flat on a shelf, no matter if you turn it on its side or, vertically, and it doesn't take up too much space. The PlayStation 5 looks interesting, it has personality, but that motherfucker takes up too much space.
Yeah. And I do have an original NES in there, but it's buried underneath a bunch of peripherals.
You almost need your own PC desk to have a PlayStation 5 because it needs to sit in the spot where a PC tower would normally sit,
Basically. But yeah, anyway.
Behind a console the size of a Rubik's Cube change the landscape of video games?
No.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
No. This unassuming brushed metal box might not seem like much, but when mainstream media got word of its potential existence, woo! It was a whirlwind of excitement. This sucker was to be a new kind of gaming console, a wake-up call for video games. And of course, who could possibly forget a destroyer of Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo?
Thank you very much, Forbes. Thank you.
This Forbes thought this was the harbinger of doom for the big three? Well, it certainly might be a four-letter word for the apocalypse, but not for the companies Forbes had in mind. Let's see where all this began with founder Julie Ehrman in OUYA's 2012 reveal pitch video.
What's the other failed console that came out around the same time period that I'm mixing up with this one all the time?
Another one you're talking about, I can't remember. Hold on.
Who made this?
Hold on. I think it was just an independent distributor.
Okay, didn't Amazon make one?
Oh yeah, hold on. Dang it. I know that there was like a Google, like the Google Cloud one that came
Maybe
out.
that's what I mean, Google.
Hold on. There it is. Stadia.
Stadia. That's
Yeah,
what I was
Google
trying to think.
Stadia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stadia service is no longer available.
Stadia is the
No
one I knew
shit.
about. I actually had no idea that OUYA was a thing until recently.
Yeah.
Not even heard of it until after it was.
But here's the thing: Stadia came out a full 3 years after the OUYA. It came out in 2018. The OUYA launched in 2013, I think. Yep. And
Yeah, I'll tell you part of their problem right now.
what's that?
Their marketing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it existed. I worked at a game store in 2013. I had no clue this thing existed. We didn't sell it at GameStop. We didn't sell these at GameStop. They screwed up.
Yes, they
Somebody
did.
screwed up bad somewhere.
Yes. So, oh gosh. This was the original concept build. I want you to look at this. This concept build.
No, I
is
didn't work at
interesting.
GameStop. I worked at the music store in 2013. But still, I would have known about it. Like, we sold consoles at the music store.
Yeah, and also here's the thing: is like the quality of the controller. It basically was always like it had connection issues, it had lag. There was always problems with.
And it single-handedly looks like it rips off every other controller from all of the major consoles.
Yeah,
at
and
one
it-
time.
And it rips off the stuff that's not good.
It's an Xbox controller, it's a Nintendo controller, and it's a PlayStation controller, all mixed together. Like, there's nothing unique about it.
And it's none of the good stuff about those controllers. It's all the bad shit.
Smooth analog sticks is the first problem I'm seeing.
Exactly. Oh my god. Yeah, no concave, like, anything on there for grip. And then, not only that, but the box shape of this thing, it's so bad.
I hate the Switch analogs, even though they got a little concave to them, because my fingers still slip off of them.
Fair enough. But, yeah, the OUYA basically just, at the launch, was just not very well received.
I love video games, but more and more people are moving away from the television.
False! There were a number of systems still being sold that same year that became some of the best-selling video game consoles of all time.
Yes.
But
People
go
were
on.
not moving
There's
away
a
from the
lot of them.
television at that time. People were literally moving from CRTVs to HD TVs.
There you go. And here's the thing. You know what the next logical step people could have made? People would be moving from the TVs to their phones. Which is why cloud gaming services that are active on your phones would be more of the thing. Plus, honestly, I don't know. It's just...
I still don't like playing games on my phone all that much.
Fair enough.
It's
To
not
stay
the
on
same as
mobile
playing
and
it on a
web
big
platform.
screen with good speakers or headphones, you know?
Yeah.
It's easier to develop games for those platforms than the television.
True, mobile phone gaming was on the rise, and it was easier and cheaper for developers to make and sell games for phones. But what does that have to do with the OUYA?
OUYA is a new game console for the television that's built on Android, open source technology. It's an inexpensive game console for gamers. All the games are free to try. There's a lot of hurdles for developers to get games onto the television. Developing is extremely expensive. I love the television, and I want those games on the television.
Ah, I get it. It's a smartphone in a box that makes it cheaper for game developers to get their games on a...
Television.
While Julie clearly has a mean case of televisitis,
I love the television.
what I'm hearing here doesn't sound half bad. A cheap console loaded with cheaper, smaller games that also have free trials. That could be fun, right? Oh, and unlike smartphones at the time, you could play it all on the
television.
They seem to think the TV is crucial in all this, but was it the most essential element of a game console? They didn't think so.
The most important part of this to us is the controller.
We really focus a lot on what
The
gamers are
interesting
looking
thing about
for.
this time period is I was not actually playing games on a television, though. I was playing all of my games on a PC monitor.
And there you go.
So both my 360 and my PlayStation 3 were always hooked up to a PC monitor because I couldn't afford an HD TV.
Yeah.
Could afford an HD computer monitor and the adapter cables to hook the consoles into it with.
Yeah.
Size, controls, tactility, right sizing.
This is going to be all kinds of hilarious in a few minutes, but before we even talk about their controller, and we will, I think we need to hear just what kind of video games their video game console is actually getting.
We'll have all the game genres you love. Shooters, platformers, sports, and RPGs.
Yep, that's all of them.
We'll have games from major game publishers and indies too. We'll have a full store of games, all free to play. Minecraft is going to be on it.
Wow, major publishers on top of the indie community were gonna back this thing, and all these games are gonna have free demos? I mean, no other console did all of this while making the games free to try. Folks, that's kind of a big deal. But OUYA's initial software showcase didn't exactly have the wow factor of an aspiring new console.
Hey,
I mean,
I played
sure,
that
it had
game on
Minecraft,
PlayStation 4 as well. I kind of forgot it existed.
Cannibal?
Yeah.
but that was already available on PCs and phones, actually, and the Xbox 360, and it also had a free trial. So it doesn't really contribute much.
No.
So, is there anything else you can actually do with this thing?
It's open for hackers that want to tweak the box and make it their own. This is a big undertaking. Effectively, we're trying to disrupt an established industry.
Disrupt the establishment, hack the hardware, make it your own, man.
Well, actually,
That sounds like an open invitation for someone to just hack in and get every single game for free, like fully for free. Like,
But here's the thing: they're still buying it, and I think that was the OUYA's main thing, is that they were manufacturing it for like a lower end, like point of entry, in terms of just like they probably made the whole thing for like $50, and they were selling it for $100. I mean, that's the thing. Most console makers aren't selling the console at heck, some are selling it at a deficit, but it's to get their foot in order to sell people the software. And, you know, by software, it's like every game that is sold on the platform, basically they make money off of. Boom, there you go.
I'm doing my part. His name is Oogie, and he kickstarts my heart, man.
Kickstarter is a phenomenal place where early ideas can get supported by those people that are going to want to use it. And this product will not happen without their support. And when we raise this money, it means that we have arrived, that there is a need for an open game console, and that there is support from gamers and developers alike.
Let's stop the video there. Yeah, the OUYA was a crowd-funded Kickstarter campaign, and we could poke holes in it all day long, but this video worked. The OUYA was part of a wave of campaigns in 2012 that propelled Kickstarter's popularity immensely. That same year, we saw successful Kickstarters from Double Fine, In Exile, Oculus VR, and Cloud Imperium Games.
I could talk day and night about Star Citizen. I know there's people out there who are going to defend Star Citizen, but I'm sorry. When you're going to spend $40,000, and here's the thing, that's not on the Kickstarter. That's literally you're spending $40,000 on the Star Citizen store, and the game's not even out yet. I'm sorry. No, you're like, it's dumb. That's dumb.
you're being scammed.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I want Star Citizen and Squadron 42 to be successful. I want that. But here's the thing that's happening. They aren't releasing the game. There is no window on when this game's going to be released. And people are still pumping 40, 50, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars into this. And here's the thing. What happens whenever it comes out and it's god awful?
I mean, it's in early access now. You can play it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
I
been
didn't.
that way for like years. Like,
Well, no, there's that. But that's the thing. There's still a cap on how much you can do. And that's always been my problem. Is like it's just
It's just one of those things. It was like I cared about it when I first heard about it, and I cared about it for about 3 years after that, and then I stopped giving a shit because it took too long.
And here's the thing: if it comes out and it's amazing, if Squadron 42 comes out and it's amazing, I will eat my words. All right, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not one of these self-righteous shitbirds that's just gonna be like, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said anything like that." No, I'm telling you right now, I do not like the business model that Star Citizen and Cloud Imperium Games is doing. I think it is predatory, and I think it is absolutely taking advantage of a community that just doesn't know when to call it quits.
Not to mention,
it's a gambling addiction.
You don't need Star Citizen anymore because No Man's Sky has filled the niche of what it was trying to do. So
yeah, and people are going to say, well, Cloud Imperium, at least it'll be ready on release. It's like, but when? When will it release? That is my question. Are we going to see this game in 2030?
On release, like No Man's Sky has become like 100,000 times the game it was on release at this point. So.
I know, and now I'd give No Man's Sky like a 9 out of 10, if not 9.5 out of 10.
I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 if they would rerun the expeditions.
There you go.
If they would rerun expeditions between new expeditions and let you go back and replay that old content, like it would be 10 out of 10. That's the only thing I wish from it right now.
There you go.
Boy, it's great to be living nearly a decade later and have all those things I just mentioned be long since finished and entirely playable.
My name is Chris Roberts, and I would like to build a universe with you.
But as for OUYA, it raised $8.5 million, nearly 9 times their original project goal. Press coverage of this underdog game machine kept the support rolling on in. Yes, cash was piling up. Yes, enthusiasm for the little indie box that could was high. But the console and its pitch had its fair share of skeptics too. And seriously, who could blame them? At $99, the console price point was head-scratchingly low. But what did that cost get you? Well, one of those
Most important part.
controllers and one brand spanking new OUYA console. The system was loaded with smartphone specs, a far cry from the competition on the market at the time, because let's not forget, it launched the same year as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. OUYA was so cheap that it was closer to the cost of a PlayStation 4 controller than a PlayStation 4 console. That was pretty incredible. It really was a budget console for budget gamers and budget-oriented developers. It sounds crazy, but this could actually work out and become a home run. All the OUYA team had to do was line up some great games, ship those consoles, and not mess up their PR.
Anyone want to take a guess as to what happened?
They messed up the PR.
Once again.
And they didn't line up some good games.
Yeah, no quality control.
They goofed all 3 of those.
Yeah, no quality control on their games. They fucked up.
Does everybody know what the OUYA console is? Can I get a show of hands? Do you know? Okay. Who's a backer? Really? Just these 2 people here? 3?
Come on.
Almost as many backers as there are letters in the console name.
It's not my lunch. I don't know. I'm
you
sure
guys
the people that raise their hands have seen these.
You packed your early prototype console in a child's paper lunch bag.
I guess they were trying to seem like it was like not, they weren't going to do like a big reveal like out of a box or like a behind a plexiglass thing to like make it seem more like down to earth and more like no, that just makes it seem cheap.
Yeah, don't do that.
That makes it seem cheap.
Bring it in a briefcase or something at the very freaking least.
Yeah. Like, add an air of professionalism to it. Because, having that grassroots idea at the base of the console, that's all well and good. But when you're on stage at the biggest of stages, like South by Southwest Interactive or E3 at the time, or any of these other big ones out there, you need to bring at least an air of professionalism that makes people think that you're taking it seriously.
Not to mention your reaction to that was way off. Like, oh, come on. No. Don't do that on stage in front of a bunch of people.
Well,
so
no.
Only 3 people? Okay, I'm excited because I get to introduce this whole room of people almost to this thing today. Then.
Exactly. Don't act like everyone
express
should know about it.
frustration at people not knowing about it. Like, you're going to seem like conceited and shit. It's like, what? Are they saying I'm dumb for not knowing about this? Like,
Yeah, that just once again, your presentation just does not do any favors.
Like you said, they had to not botch the PR, and they're already botching it.
100%.
You don't pack extremely rare and important tech in a freaking paper bag. What if you dropped it? Are you kidding me?
When you ask the question about what makes it challenging, like, there is nothing special about this board. Nothing. Like, nothing.
I think she's saying the quiet part loud and the loud part quiet.
Oh, you didn't answer the launch. How many launch titles?
I don't know.
What?
How many launch titles?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Look, I'm not the CEO of Nintendo, but even I can tell you what launched with most of their systems. How do you not know what is launching with your totally off-the-shelf, unspecial sandwich?
The complete
console?
silence from the
controller has a
crowd
touchpad.
at
You're
this
not-
point is
It's painful.
It's very telling. Like,
Yeah, it's painful. Here's the thing.
it's like, I think when she said, I don't know, I would have been like, these guys aren't prepared at all for what they're doing. I'm going to walk out and grab a drink.
Yeah. Whereas here's the thing. No disrespect to Julie Ehrman. I'm sure that she is a developer. She's a great developer. She's a great idea person, a great pitch person. And when it comes to this here, you need someone who knows how to sell.
Yeah. Or at the very least, they needed to be better prepared for this presentation, and they were not.
Yeah. I would have had someone up there with Julie who is basically a sales pitch person. Yeah, and here's the thing. It could have been male or female. I don't care. Just someone who knows how to sell and someone who knows how to read a crowd. Because that's a very integral thing, especially if you're a new kid on the block. Because that was the thing that what sold Xbox was the fact that Bill Gates was up there, the richest man in the world, next to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who was just like, The Rock has played the Xbox, and The Rock is impressed.
So, guy that's on stage with her, is he working with her?
No, they are Josh Topolsky. Josh Topolsky, I think he was an interviewer slash media person.
Okay, so what should have happened in this case was she should have gotten a list of questions from them that they were going to ask ahead of time so that she could have answers prepared for it.
Well,
or that she could tell them, look, we won't have an answer for this at the show, so please don't ask that at the show.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Media people don't play that way. If Sean Murray is any indication of how the media people are, they don't give a fuck. They just want their clicks.
I don't know is not a professional answer either, though.
No, it isn't.
It's we're not able to reveal that at this time.
Yeah, and some people could see that as corporate speak, but it doesn't seem like. But at the same time, that doesn't seem like you're unprepared.
Yeah, it sounds more professional. It doesn't. It sounds like you probably know this, but you're keeping it a secret.
And
it's not literally admitting, I don't know.
No, and here's the thing: you could add it to the performance as well. Just be like, how many games do you have? It's like, well, I can say this: we have quite a few, but I am not allowed to discuss it at this time due to NDAs. I apologize about that, but you will know sooner rather than later. Like that, right there. That's how you could add to the performance of it and make it seem like you at least have X amount at your disposal instead of just completely just fumbling the ball here by saying, I don't know.
I'm not going to find that somewhere else. And the reality is...
The new PlayStation 4 controller has a touchpad.
That's true. They could build it for that.
So, you don't think your console's special.
There is nothing special about this board.
You don't know what's
that was a horrible way to say that, too.
Here's what I would say.
It's like, hey, we have something completely mundane and, not at all interesting to pitch to you today. That's what that sounds like to me.
to which instead you could have just said, I want to emphasize this very quickly. This box, anyone can build it, but the engineers and the people that we have working with us at OUYA Incorporated have basically turned what would seem as unordinary components into a gaming console that can literally change everyone's opinion on indie gaming overnight. I would have done something like that. I would have done something to hype the crowd up and just be like, oh, so what have they done to the board and what have they done to the operating system to make it stand out? And then you could go in and be like, to be honest, it's an Android operating system, but it is our own custom specs and our own custom software that we are going to be running with it that will make indie game development much more streamlined and much more simple to basically put on this little tiny box that has also expandable memory on the back. That was another thing that it had that I really wish they would have talked about. It's like it also has expandable memory, and it's just like it basically means that you can plug up and basically have unlimited games on your third-party storage software.
And then once you finish that, like literally like your biggest selling point right here, it's like, all right, so how much do you guys think that this costs?
Exactly.
You guys know how much the PlayStation 4 that's coming out costs, right? You guys know how much the Xbox is probably going to cost, right?
Yeah.
How much do you think this costs? And like, let somebody in the crowd answer. You know,
like
be like
$200.
It's like, nope.
It's like
anywhere else?
$150.
Nope.
And it's like $125. I'll do you one better. This little thing
exactly.
and the controller, all yours for $99.
And a lot of people would be like, whoa! Like, that would actually get a crowd response because people would be like, that's fucking affordable!
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't even have to save up and not eat for a week to be able to get one of these.
once again, this is her, like, she literally just...
I could buy that and some ramen on my paycheck.
Exactly. She literally, with this right here at South by Southwest Interactive, grabbed the double-barrel shotgun with double-aught buck in it, pointed it right at her foot, and emptied both barrels, and just completely destroyed any foothold of trying to get ahead of the game. But, yeah, anyway.
I don't know.
You're completely unaware of your competition.
The new PlayStation 4 controller has a touchpad.
That's true.
Oh, and you store your prototype console next to your Dunkaroos. Okay. That didn't go so smoothly. But a few trip-ups at one live Q&A are by no means the end of the world. The console's still releasing on time, after all. Off-the-shelf components.
There's nothing special about this.
Delayed 3 weeks. Okay, I'll give you another mulligan, OUYA. Delays do happen. Can you at least professionally promote your product at a trade show?
OUYA Park is open every single day of E3 from 9 to 7. We have happy hour from 4 to 7 with free beer and K-Rock DJing live, so come on down.
Beer? What about the games?
So come on down.
You're... once again, no favors being done by the presentation here. We talked about it in the last one, so I'm not gonna reparrot everything that we just said, but you need to get someone who knows how to deal with media personalities, because media will see this, they will see blood in the water, and they will leap on you, and they will literally tear you to shreds before you even have a chance to say anything to try and counteract the damage that's been done by this.
Or to be honest, like, what's more likely to happen with this is such a mundane and boring and unenticing thing that everyone will completely ignore it. And that sounds like what happened.
Yeah.
Because you're not playing to your audience here. You're at a place where people are here to check out. Like, you're talking to IGN.
Yes.
Like, it's trash as IGN is a lot of times, but like,
one of the biggest gaming publications
sell to
out
your
there.
audience, man. Like, come on down. You can try this game, and this game, and this game today. Like, come let us show you what we got.
It's like,
you know?
it's like
no, it's like we got free beer.
It's like, this is Towerfall.
You're offering free beer to a bunch of nerds at a convention. Like, probably 25% of which are probably, like, not even quite 21 yet.
There you go.
What are you trying to do?
Once
we're not
again,
here for beer.
No, we're here for games.
Yeah.
Like, know your audience, damn it.
We'll go get beer after we're done playing games later. Like,
yeah.
You need your free beer.
And play great games.
Can they professionally promote their
That
product?
should not have been the afterthought. The free beer should have been the afterthought.
Yeah, come on down here and play some games. We'll be here all day. Oh, by the way, free beer if you show up here within like the next 3 hours. Like, yeah, something like that. That would at least be more appealing than just like, oh yeah, we got free beer.
Yeah, it's literally.
Also, check out our video games.
We have this game, we have this game, we have this game, we have this game. We'll be on. They'll all be on the show today. Oh yeah, we have free beer.
Like, yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Period? Was that an axe? We are really not seeing the most competent build-up to the launch of the OUYA.
No.
But on June 25th, 2013, the console finally hit its pushed-back retail launch. Good news. That is, unless you back the freaking Kickstarter. Financial supporters of the original OUYA campaign, you know, the people that brought the console to life with their own hard-earned money, were supposed to be the first to receive the final product. It was guaranteed. Unfortunately, many original backers were left waiting while non-backers could just stroll into a retail shop and snap one up.
Here's what I would have done to make up for that. I would have literally said, here's a voucher, a free voucher. You can walk into any retailer that offers it, give this voucher, and you get it for free. Boom. Instantly remedied right there. Like, people are still getting it for free, and although they aren't getting it early, which is going to be a sore spot for them, you could at least remedy the problem by giving them that.
You know what? Now that I see the box, I realize we did have one of these at the music store. We had one of these at the music store.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it was still there when we closed the music store.
One.
Because it was like one of those things, we took it out, the box was up high, like, you know, like not at the eye level where you advertise stuff you're trying to sell to people. Like,
yeah.
It was like, it's there if anybody ever wants it. And it was like, what's this thing? And it's like, I don't know, some kind of indie console thing. Like, oh, it's probably shit. Like, yeah, it's like, so we never gave it a second thought.
More effective, like as of right now, it's more effective use as that of a fucking paperweight.
OUYA's die-hard supporters were now very angry, but the developers were okay, right? Well, over on the development side, the OUYA team announced the Free the Games Fund, their way of giving back to the indie dev community, and possibly securing some tasty OUYA exclusives. Here's how it works. Basically, a developer entered their game and promised OUYA 6 months exclusivity on their platform. And if they could raise more than $50,000 on Kickstarter, this fund would match that amount in support of up to $250,000.
Wow.
The participants that raised the most would even get a prize of an additional $100,000. Great. No, that's good. Shouldn't be hard for humble-sized developers to take on a campaign and drum up 50,000 magical dollars. It's not like OUYA was pitched as a console tailored for developers.
Not to mention, that doesn't make sense. Because where is that money you're giving back to the developers coming from?
That's the other thing too. It's like
why would you be like, if you make us $50,000, we'll give you way more than $50,000? That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It's like magic money. Poof.
That was set up to fail from the start.
Poof.
You were set up to get yourself in a bad position if people did make you $50,000, because then you wouldn't be able to give them what you promised them.
Very bad. Holy crap.
With monetary constraints, to have a place to release their dream projects that wasn't price gated like OUYA's big boy competitors.
That's what OUYA is going to bring back to gaming. You're not limited by how much money you have in the bank or how many people you work with.
Could this ingenious scheme to get exclusive games possibly go wrong? OUYA! Free the Games Fund entrants Elementary My Dear Homes, The Eye of Draconis, and Gridiron Thunder were accused of having unsavory donation activity. This ranged from suspicious backers to developers freely admitting that they were gaming the system. Gridiron Thunder alone accumulated $171,000 from only 183 backers.
Seems a little suspicious to me.
After an empty feeling OUYA blog response and retooling aspects of the Free the Games Fund,
Sometimes you have to put a project out there to get that feedback to know how to make it better.
many creators were less than impressed with OUYA. The company no longer came off as being truly in support of small creative teams. But surely they were still pro-consumer. That crisp, newly distributed OUYA and its loyal adopters were the company's #1 main focus. You're kidding me. 4 months after the OUYA hit retail, the company publicly announced that they were already planning a revamped controller and second iteration of their console. They actually hope to ship an OUYA 2.0 in 2014. Good news! That didn't happen, because they probably didn't have the money to launch another console so quickly. Bad news. The company was about to trash a promise they made to their backers that helped them raise all that money in the first place.
It's an inexpensive game console for gamers. All the games are free to try. One of the things that OUYA is doing is bringing the best model of games today to the television. So we believe that every single game you should try before you buy.
When the OUYA Discover storefront
That didn't happen, did it?
Nope.
launched, all titles were required to be free to try. That is, they had to have some kind of free demo, which sure does sound nice, right? This seemed like a pro-consumer approach. But bam! In 2014, free demos no longer required. In an official blog post, the canceling of free to try was apparently in support of developers. Now, sure, that does sound like a possibility, but
here's the thing. Oh, actually, here's what I can say about this. If you want to have games on there that don't have a free demo attached, at least include a free trailer and just be like, okay, so this dev unfortunately is not able to craft a demo for this game. But here's a free trailer showing you what this game includes.
I don't agree with that.
But here's what I would say.
I think you made a promise.
No, I know.
You don't let developers put games on your console if they're not willing to have a demo for free on there.
But here's the thing. I would say that
it's a trailer
the priority. Here's the thing. You give priority to the ones that do include demos.
I wouldn't let anybody on there because we already made that promise.
Well, I hear that.
Because like a free trailer is not the same as a free demo.
No, I know.
I can get a free trailer on YouTube. Like,
no, I know, but at the same time, it's just like
that's nothing.
I know, but at the same time, I'm not advocating for what they did here. Basically, just no free demo no longer. Instead, I would basically just be like, we'll basically give you priority if you do have a demo. If you don't, we'll still put you on the console, but you won't be on the front page. And basically, it'll emphasize devs to basically be like, okay, we need to get a free demo put together. And I would have still done that and still had it on the console. But again, it's just, here's the thing. You don't really have the ability to control what devs do, but I would give priority to devs that did go out of their way to make a free demo. Much like how Thor made a free demo, did he do a free demo for his game? I can't remember.
I don't know.
But anyway.
But I don't think it's true. What I think was actually going on was something that was far more of a serious problem to OUYA. According to CEO Julie Ehrman, in OUYA's very first month on the market with the free-to-try model, 73% of OUYA owners had not purchased a single title on the storefront. 73%! That means that for roughly every 4 people that purchased an OUYA, only 1 actually bothered to buy a game. Yikes! So why weren't people buying games for this cube? Could it be that 3/4 of OUYA users were satiated with game demos alone? OUYA, what happened? Your hardware was delivered. You nailed your price point. Your PR was
questionable.
But hey, selling games? That was supposed to be the easy part. There's got to be more to this. And I guess there's only one way to get the whole picture. It's time that we went hands-on with the OUYA. Before we poke this tiny console to life, let's just take a look at this bad boy.
There is nothing special about this board. Nothing.
Julie, I'd go one step further and say that there is nothing special about this box at all. Honestly, it didn't even make a great doorstop. Contemporary.
I've inserted a little scream in there because the little guy was on he's trying so hard. He's like, no.
His arm and leg was crushed.
To its contemporaries, it's much smaller because it really is just tiny cell phone parts in an itty-bitty case. You're gonna set this thing up and likely rarely touch it again. But the controller it comes with, oh boy, I've got concerns.
The most important part of this to us is the controller.
See, you say that, but no, you clearly didn't care. This is one of the worst official bundled console controllers I've ever used. Brand new, straight out of the box, the right shoulder button was broken. It doesn't click in the way the left shoulder button does.
That's not good.
The home button is in the lower center of the controller's face where you can accidentally hit it when you use your right thumbstick. The D-pad, mushy. The face buttons, stiff. And worst of all, if you press too hard, it can get jammed beneath the controller's faceplate. And the faceplate.
I will say, I don't know how it happened, but with the Xbox 360 controller, There was more than one occasion where I was playing a game and accidentally, dong, oh shit, dong, like, cause the fucking dashboard button was so big and like just
I get
prominent.
that.
Like, I don't know how it happened, but I did occasionally have like a thumb slip and
did
accidentally
happen,
open
but
the dashboard in the middle of playing a game.
It did happen, but at least it was like up and away instead of like down in the middle.
It
like
wasn't
that.
where it was probably going to happen every time you like move down and to the right with your right thumbstick.
Yeah.
They're attached with a handful of magnets. Removing and replacing them not only feels cumbersome, but it makes the build feel cheap. Instead of putting a single battery compartment on the back, like an Xbox One or 360 controller,
or doing rechargeable batteries at this point because that's where everyone else was moving to.
They are in 2 compartments underneath the faceplates that makes the controller feel far less structurally sound, leading to a very loose feeling build overall, which is probably why they skipped out on putting rumble in the controller, because if they did, it would probably shake itself apart. The most frustratingly confusing design choice though, not including a start or select button. This should have been standard, folks, and it's a huge misstep. If developers wanted to port their games over from another platform that did have start or select, or if gamers wanted to emulate older games, they'd likely need to do some serious button reconfiguration. Moving on, let's go ahead and start the device. The menu layout is pretty simple and functional. Not surprising, as at its core, it really is just an Android device. In fact, there are tons of options and visuals here that look just like what you would get in a basic Android phone. Instead of making a new, finely tailored OS from the ground up, like what Sony or Nintendo would have done, OUYA saved big bucks by sticking with thinly altered smartphone software. Typically, this would be a bad move, but in this case, it's the only thing they didn't f up. OUYA team made some specialized options, like the make section for people to create games. But the majority of consumers out there wanted to play games, not make them. So let's see what this little box of dreams can actually do. That brings us to Discover, the OUYA storefront. You've got your new games and your best rated, of which several seem to be emulators for other systems.
Which I'm not against. That's the thing. I am not against that.
That just doesn't sound like a good way to keep your console selling games.
Yep.
Because, you know, he was talking about, it was like, was it that everyone was satiated with demos? Perhaps it was that everyone was satiated with the fact that they just got a Super Nintendo. Freaking, what else was there?
It was a SNES,
Super Nintendo,
Genesis,
Game Boy Advance,
for other systems.
NES. Like,
I guarantee there's a Sega one on here.
A gigantic library of like video games that they can play completely through from beginning to end for free.
Yes.
Some of the best games of all time.
Oh yes.
Systems. Probably one of the reasons why
Plus,
3/4 of OUYA
probably not legal. Nintendo would probably have something to say about it.
Here's the thing. It is legal, but it's very frowned upon. And Nintendo, instead of, here's the thing.
Because technically the emulators are legal, but how are you going to get ROMs on that thing?
By basically saying, oh, I already own it.
But, I mean, I guess it's an Android. I guess you do it the same way you do on an Android.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is like, if they come to me and they say, "Hey, we saw that you have a ROM of Secret of Mana on your like emulation machine. Like, do you have a copy of Secret of Mana?" Leave me alone now, please. Thank you. Leave me alone now, please. I'm playing Secret of Mana, and there's nothing you can do to stop me, Nintendo. Anyway.
Customers weren't buying games, they were emulating them. But don't get us wrong, OUYA did have lots of real standalone titles on its storefront, ones you could buy. So let's crack the old knuckles and warm up our official OUYA controller and dive in.
Damn it.
This is gonna be fun. You'd probably think we'd start immediately listing off a bunch of terrible games. Well, no, we're not gonna do that. There are some legitimately fantastic games either officially ported to or exclusively released to the console. Games like Final Fantasy III, The Bard's Tale, and Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Some titles are ported over well enough, but others are Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. This game runs worse than its
Thing is, this game was released on Xbox, and the Xbox is easily emulatable now on majority of mobile devices. But this is 2013. 2013 mobile devices, specifically ones that were cheap, didn't run these very well. Either that, or they didn't have the hardware, or like the emulation software was nowhere near like as optimized enough. That's like going back and trying to play old PlayStation 2 games back on like mobile phones from 2015 to 2017. That was about impossible in a lot of ways. But then some people, I think it was a PX2, I think was the one that came out that changed everything. And then the dev got mad at people like criticizing his work, and thus he basically updated it to ruin it. And then he got banned from his own Discord server because of that. Because he was just like, no, everyone can go fuck themselves. I hate everybody now. I don't want anybody to be able to enjoy this. And they were just like, okay, no, we're instead going to take this emulator and we're going to basically put the safe version over here and make it completely like away from your hands that are ruining everything. But yeah, this not good. No bueno.
its original Xbox release.
It's like 1 frame per second.
Oh, that's not good.
Shocking, seeing as how the Xbox version came out the better part of a decade before the OUYA version. There are plenty of games with varying degrees of quality. Some ports are by teams obviously not focused on properly supporting this platform.
1 second.
What's up?
I remember something very specific about Oddworld Stranger's Wrath.
What's that? Let's see. Odd World video game series. Stranger's Wrath. There it is. 2005.
Okay, maybe I'm remembering incorrectly.
HD remaster. Oh, neato. I remember Oddworld Stranger's Wrath was a lot of fun.
Was there another Oddworld Stranger game?
Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Oddworld, Soulstorm. Let's see. Here we are. Abe's Odyssey, Abe's Exodus, Munch's Odyssey, Stranger's Wrath, New and Tasty, and Soulstorm. Soulstorm's the most recent one. That's the one that you played.
I'm just confused about one particular thing because...
What's that?
I could have sworn...
Well, there was an HD remaster of Stranger's Wrath. Oddworld, Hand of Odd, Sling Storm, Squeak's Odyssey, Munch's Exodus, Munch's Odyssey, Stranger's Wrath 2 was hinted at in 2013, but it never came to be.
That's why. Okay, I thought so.
What's up?
Yeah, but that wasn't the case. I saw screenshots like this from Stranger's Wrath, so I assumed it was a first-person shooter. But it just has a first-person aiming mode.
Yes.
So I was confused for a second because I was like, what's Stranger's Wrath? A first-person shooter, not a third-person
shooter?
It
had aspects of a first-person shooter. Yeah. It had aspects of a first-person shooter.
That's why I was confused. So never mind. My bad.
You're good.
Many games are just Android versions that feel like they hastily shoved in support for the OUYA controller, which again, wasn't so hot. But did that mean that OUYA was devoid of decent original games? No, not at all. In fact, this is, in my opinion, the crown jewel of the system, Towerfall.
Yes!
This game perfectly encapsulated what creative titles on the OUYA could be. A simple, non-taxing concept expertly achieved. A well-controlling platformer deathmatch game that could bring together friends for hours on end. It utilized
this game was
solid
so
combat
fun,
mechanics
dude.
with a smart smart use of physics and has gone on to inspire games with similar designs to this day. It's no surprise that Towerfall is OUYA's absolute bestseller. It is OUYA's killer app. So,
or
how
it
did
was.
it perform commercially? 7,000 copies.
Oh.
Towerfall's first huge year in the OUYA's ecosystem, and it sold 7,000 copies. That's the console's best-selling game, people. But surely it's not the platform's fault. Towerfall obviously didn't perform better outside of the OUYA space, right? Oh, wait. It did.
Ooh. Yep.
When freed from niche micro console exclusivity,
Wasn't that game only like $5 too?
Yeah.
So like 500,000 times 5 divided by 5. 100,000 copies on PlayStation.
Hold on, let's take a look and see here. So, Towerfall. There we are. Towerfall, the Maddie makes
Towerfall Ascension on the other consoles.
Yeah, no, that was its remake, or that was its the editions as it came out. But yeah, it's called Towerfall Ascension. Yeah, right here, Towerfall Ascension. Whereas into the Nintendo under its original title, Towerfall. So when it came out on all the other consoles, it basically just became Towerfall Ascension. But yeah, it was made at a game jam as a single player prototype by Matty Thorson, and basically just this is let's see what else notable games. Earthblade, Celeste. So basically, Maddie Makes Games, Towerfall, and Celeste were the You played Celeste.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good game.
Yes, and then Earthblade. That's the next big one coming up from Matty Thorson. So that's cool. Anyway, so let's see. Gosh, I remember playing this with friends and just getting absolutely destroyed, but it was so much fun.
We played it on stream with Roan and them.
Yeah, we did. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Somewhere on the channel.
Yeah. Maybe I'll do a link to that.
Of Towerfall eclipsed its sales with OUYA immensely. OUYA's most successful, replayable, and critically acclaimed game was a disaster. Those quick port-pushing companies we mentioned earlier? Yeah, they likely didn't make a nickel, but those quick ports, they weren't even the worst experiences released on the system. Oh, that's right. You don't even know what we're about to get into, folks.
I was gonna say, did your headphones cut out there for a second?
They do that sometimes.
Mine did that.
It's only one of them at a time, though.
Folks, I think it's about time we explore some of the most questionable and bizarre content we've ever shown on this channel. But is a game where a cloud throws objects at your butt. What kinds of objects? Well, regular things like teddies, nut, God's dish, and sword. If you drop these things, you lose respect. And we all know how every butt wants mad respect. You must get the items in the bin on the right or in the jug thing on the left. How does butt accomplish this? Butt has no hands, butt has no legs. Butt has only butt. Fart, butt. Fart. Now, before you think this game gets too juvenile, know that when you fart enough Dash or Roger Nim rockets into those side bins, you will unlock a single scene infographic. These showcase prominent historical figures: founding father Benjamin Franklin, German philosopher Immanuel Kant. Feels like they're trying to stuff some educational content where the sun don't shine. But this ain't the only edutainment title on the console. Esperanto Animals. Ever want to point at an animal and scream its name in the world's most widely spoken international auxiliary language?
Aglo.
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 How about an egg?
Ovo.
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 Well, have we got the game for you?
Kato. 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 Kato.
Insano. This game Mako. Mio.
What language is that?
I think Is it Portuguese?
Congratulations! You can now say cat in a language that 0.001% of the population of Earth understands.
Really?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, this isn't Spanish.
No, because gato.
Yeah.
It's gato and oh god.
Next game. Blaine Banana
What?
Tree.
So the language was Esperanto? Is that it?
Hold on, let's see. I am not rewatching the whole, like, gato.
Esperanto, animals.
Esperanto.
Ever want to point at an animal and scream its name in the world's most...
Esperanto, yeah, so it is Esperanto. I don't... Wow. Was intended to be a universal second language for for international communication. Yeah, look how well that went.
Spoken?
So while it is the most widely spoken, like, that doesn't mean much.
Next game. Blaine Banana Tree. This is a game about planting banana trees on a desert island. You can choose to either eat your yum yum bananas or stab them right into the flesh of the earth. Hey, look! More banana trees. And more bananas. This is the entire game. Do you know how to say banana in Esperanto? Repeat after me. Banano.
Banano. Banano. Banano. Banano.
Please make it stop.
Oh god. That's my thoughts.
Good job. We've officially wasted less of your time than Blaine Banana Tree wasted of ours.
Coconut Hunt. It's you versus Amy in the ultimate blood sport. Coconut Collection. Collect those nutters as fast as you can. Where do you put them? Coconut Hunt.
In the hut of
Character has a
coconut.
big gnarly head and constantly looks like he should be losing his balance and toppling over like the top-heavy flipper-footed creature he is. Coconut Hunt. An invisible wall in the water keeps you from swimming away and drowning yourself to escape this punishment. Coconut Hunt. 3 meters of rainstorm. Coconut Hunt.
At Telrix. For anyone worried that OUYA doesn't have everyone's favorite gold trinket collecting spinny hedgehog, we say this. OUYA has Sonic CD. But if you didn't get that, worry
Forgot that
not, sharp
Steven
rodent aficionados.
randomly
Telrix
messaged
is
me on
here.
Discord.
It's all the fun and...
And it was just like, Kato, Kato, Kato. And
It
I
was
like,
that... he did
he's
that.
like, I hope you get that reference. And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, then you guys haven't watched the video that I asked you to watch yet. And I was like, oh yeah, not yet. No, I'm just like, oh, okay.
You know what you need to send him back? Banano. 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 Banano.
I'll do it right now.
Alright, Steven. Turnabout's fair play.
Not Stefano, Steven.
There he is. Banano. 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 Oh gosh. Banano, as in like the Bonanno crime family. Crazy Joe. Crazy Joe Bonanno. Actually, that'd be a funny
Now he
bit.
gets to watch the reaction and be like, I remember getting that message.
Yeah. Actually, Bonanno. Bonanno. And then show a picture of Joe Bonanno with a fucking machine gun.
Flair of a broken Atari Jaguar tech demo from 1993.
Banana.
You play as a Telrix, a sea urchin-shaped hedgehog with the tip of a penis for a nose.
Oh.
You've got to race against the clock to collect all the hidden golden gems and thwart the wicked robo-badgers. There's gravity-defying jumps, strawberries, a song that plays, and textured cubes. What more could you need? What's that? A game that controls well, and some kind of explanation as to how the stupid gravity system works, and better level designs? But look, it can't give you any of that.
Stop
but
asking
at least
for too
it's
much.
better than Sonic Forces.
Ugh.
Sonic fans, I await your comments down below.
There you go.
Just rain.
I know that sound.
That's not a game.
No, I know this sound. That's the sound of me pissing out of my old window onto the concrete down below.
OUYA is a new game console for the television. It's an inexpensive game console for gamers. We'll have all the games.
Is that like an ASMR thing? You know, here's the thing. I think it would be really cool if you could do like a ASMR, like ASMR TV app. You know, that like do that and pay like $1 for every new experience that you want, like walking in the rain, or like walking through the forest, or you know, unintelligible whispers, or you know, whatever the hell people into ASMR are into.
But I get that for free on YouTube.
I know, but that's the thing, is like people will be willing to pay for it if the quality is good enough. Because quality speaks.
I think the quality's good enough on YouTube.
No, I do too, but that's the thing. This is before YouTube was an ASMR hive before it became that in like 2017.
I guess so.
So you'd have had at least a few years here. Then when it finally kicked off on YouTube, then you could take the game down and just like post them on YouTube. Make money that way. And then people who watched it and played it on OUYA would just be like, oh, they're on here and they're free now? Awesome. That's what I would have done.
You love.
It's just rain. Don't eat soap. Soap is bad for you to eat. It is good for washing your hands, but very bad for you to put in your mouth. Good advice! This may seem like a game in which you press a button to keep soap from entering Bob the hamster's mouth, but no, it's secretly more. When Bob ingests the pesky bar, the game evolves into a Bubble Bobble clone, complete with popping trapped enemies and picking up fallen foodstuffs. Hey, it's
What?
Rost's head from the Goonies.
Oh my God.
Sometimes Bob can stand on thin air. The game
So if
can
you
barely
let
keep
Bob
up
eat
if
the
you
soap,
spam
you
your
actually
bubble
get to
shot.
kind of
It's
play
like
a game.
It's breaking.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I want this game scrubbed from my memory. Game Catcher, a game about collecting games in a video game store. This is a very accurate depiction of the sights and smells at your local GameStop.
Accurate. Very accurate.
There's also an 80s mode.
If you go in our local game shop nowadays, there's like only one other person in there, and that's the person that works there. So.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you went in there and you started crop dusting in your local GameStop, the only person who would notice would be the person behind the counter and just be like, dude, are you going to buy something or are you just going to keep blowing ass in here? What the fuck?
For everybody whining about, I want everything to stay physical, I support physical, where y'all at? Ever see you want to go to the GameStop?
I still go to GameStop occasionally. Or actually, to be more fair, I go buy retro games because they're the only ones I really, like, a lot of those are the ones I really care about.
The thing is when you buy retro games, you're not making any kind of contribution towards things staying physical.
True, but at least I'm buying ones that I want to keep in my own way.
And I'm just like, I've embraced digital. I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, I also...
My Steam account's been around since I was in high school, and they've never taken a game away from me. I'm happy with it.
I am still physical when it comes to movies, as you can see over there with my Blu-ray collection.
I've got a box of movies, and the last time I watched one was probably 8 years ago. So
fair enough, but we still need to watch Top Gun Maverick, or the Top Gun movies down here with you, because I really think you'll like them. I really, really do. Anyway.
Play is tweaked slightly to embody an 80s arcade shooter.
Oh my God.
Poorly. Speaking of the 80s strike back. Now this is a basic Defender clone, but with minor imagery from the 80s. We pilot an A-Wing from Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. Get it? Strikes Back? Star Wars? It's a reference. Another visitor from the 80s is the sprite from the Atari 2600 version of E.T.
Who
It
hawks
screams
pizza at you.
while shooting small eggs
Yeah, he basically hocked two as a fucking pizza at your fucking face.
and pizza out of its face.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh my God, did I...
you're letting the brain rot affect you.
Oh God, it's affecting me. I'm sorry. I did not mean for that to happen. I am so sorry, Nick. Holy shit, I can't believe I said that.
You should be.
Sometimes it's best not to ask what kind of narcotic was inhaled when a game like this was envisioned. But with the 80s theming, I think we can all make a solid guess.
New
the
Coke.
unbeatable egg. Take an egg.
Oval.
Take an
Oval.
Make it real big, make it invincible, now roll it through a city causing untold mayhem and havoc. I wish I could say something nice about
Katamari Damacy. Sorry. This is like discount Katamari Damacy. Instead it's like Tamago Chaos or something like that.
this game. Perhaps its real-time destruction and deformation physics are a really cool feature, but besides that, you seriously are not doing much. It's pretty boring. Roll an
Oval.
Beat the whole game in under 3 minutes. Far from excellent. I mean,
Oval.
excellent. Pago.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Did they expect people to want to buy a game
What's
with
happening?
I don't know. I'm terrified and I need to drink.
an undulating chicken? This is a rhythm game that in no way incorporates rhythm. It's bottom of the barrel, like all the other games we just saw. How do you sell any of those to gamers who want stuff like, I don't know, Call of Duty?
$60? This game sucks. They screwed me. It's exactly the same game. Oh, God. $60? Oh, they did it to me again. I could have bought food.
Really?
What the fuck?
Oh my god. You know what would have been more effective? An ad campaign that would have gone like this. Play the OUYA! They have all the games! The Sponge Monkeys from the... They got their subs! And they are good to us! They got their tower fall!
I think that's a disgrace to the Sponge Monkeys trying to put them with this thing.
I know, but still, it'd have been more effective than that. That wannabe edgelord piece of shit that wasn't even that good.
I put some respect on the Sponge Monkeys name.
Well, because they're actually funny.
And they're the reason, like, whenever I finally found out there was a Quiznos nearby, I actually went and tried it. I was like, something's $1 off! I gotta go.
They got a pepper bar.
I don't think they have a pepper bar, is what I said when I walked in. Because there wasn't a pepper bar.
Oh, that's sad.
But I got a sub at my friend's recommendation. He's like, try the chicken carbonara sub. And I was like, will do.
How was it?
It was fucking delicious.
Yeah.
And now I'm sad because there's no Quiznos left anywhere near here and I can't get chicken carbonara subs.
Oh, sorry.
Bring back the Quiznos.
OUYA.
So I can either bludgeon myself with my spine in a pool of my own vomit or play an OUYA? I'll take the spine. Unfortunately, I'm contractually obligated to play through more of this mess. So let's keep going. Sudden Death Soccer. Everybody else gets FIFA, OUYA gets this. No options, no flair, just pirates versus humans that have 3 holes punched out of their heads. Are they supposed to be aliens? The arena has been
I like how
completely
console
vacated.
players are always like, Steam doesn't have any quality assurance, so there's so many crappy games on Steam, and I'm just like, look at this shit, man.
Yeah. Plus, keep in mind, indie games on PS4 and Xbox aren't devoid of shit.
Yeah,
There's plenty on there.
Except for the lunatics on the field. The physics are poor at best, and the controls leave a lot to be desired. As tradition dictates, if a goal
Also, look at how they run. Look at how they run, like when they're running away from the camera. They're running like they've just shit themselves. They're running like they're shit themselves, and they're squeezing their cheeks together so it doesn't come out.
If a goal is scored in a match,
Like, Mr. Stewart, what do you say? Poop your pants. It's like, you pooped your pants. Poop your pants.
of sudden death pirate alien soccer, the ball explodes.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of dope.
You know what? I would actually like a soccer game that doesn't take itself too serious and would have shit like this.
It would make more sense if you put like a sci-fi theme on it or something. Though, like these are just dudes playing soccer. So why did it explode and blow the goalie away?
Yeah, exactly. If this was like literally aliens actually, it'd be cool if you could choose like 6 different teams, like pirates, robots, cyborgs, like mutants, aliens. Like you could pick like different kinds of teams to play as, and you would see, we're actually trying to make the game fun, and instead, like, it's just people who just went like in the lowest rung of like accessibility, and we're just like, all right, this is the game. This is how the game is supposed to be.
Death Pirate Alien Soccer, the ball explodes.
Oh!
Hurling everyone's droopy corpse well into the stratosphere. It also happens if the time runs out. Best game so far. Those darn nipples. Someone screams the title of the game at you while peeking their microphone.
Those darn nipples!
For real?
Awesome start. The way this game works is you place nipples on breasts based off a hint given to you before the current breasts are on the screen. This is a functional game, which is more than I can say for Santa's World War. This game is titled Santa's War on Terror, but the thumbnail says differently. Regardless, both titles are missing the apostrophe at the end of Santa's between the A and the S.
Santas.
That's attention to detail that just begs the player to dive in, isn't it? You control Santa, Santas. He throws snowballs at soldiers carrying firearms. Santa's literally brought snowballs to a gunfight. You might not think this looks great. You're correct. But I actually have the game zoomed in. Here's how it really looks. Pull her out!
Oh!
Look at that headroom. There's enough real estate to be playing a better game up there. These characters are so far away, I can't even tell what emotions they're supposed to be portraying. Are they angry at Santas? Does Santas enjoy offing people with snowballs? No one knows. If you lose, it jumps to a screen that says, submit. That actually sounds far scarier than it has any right to be. Zepto Racer. No track boundaries, terrible steering, and acceleration that goes from 0 to 10,000 in a second flat. I'd call this the most unfinished racing game I've ever played, but then I tried Zepto Racer 3D.
Oh my God in heaven.
You can't even see all the way in front of you because it doesn't load the whole track.
There's no render distance. Dude, Silent Hill 2 has better render distance than that.
They had to hide it with fog.
Yes!
And darkness.
I mean,
actually, I think that was the first one that had to do that. I don't think the second one had that problem. Like, the PS2 was powerful enough for them to... They just kept the fog and darkness.
But that's the thing. When did Silent Hill 2 come out? 2000... What? When did Silent Hill 2 come out? 2001?
Well, before this.
Yeah. And it has render distance.
The same game, but it's in 3D now. I think you can best describe the draw distance here with a confused shrug. I couldn't even begin to try and beat this, and I don't really think anyone else could either.
Zeus versus zombies.
No.
You play as the almighty Zeus, king of the Greek gods. Fling lightning from thine mighty hand noodles. Ha! Heathens, thus thou think thy can bestify? Oh, I blew up!
Alien Zombie Soul Hunter. Let's read the instructions. You are a green alien who has come to Earth to rescue the souls of the humans that were lost when the zombies took over.
Oh, I blew up!
Okay, well, even without instructions, I would have guessed that our character here is an alien because he looks spaced the hell out. You go around shooting zombies.
You've seen some shit.
Yeah.
Alien, because he looks spaced the hell out.
The souls are coming to eat me, man. I gotta blow them up.
You go around shooting zombies and collecting purple
with a carrot.
Kill.
The purple cubes
My
are the
God.
human souls you're meant to collect. The zombies run at you and have undefined attack ranges, so they seem to magically hurt you at random distances. The best part is, your goal is to save those purple soul boxes, right? But some of them are just floating in the air. You don't have a jump button. So long, souls. Up there, you're gonna stay. As you blast away the undead, you find rocket ship parts which you assemble to launch those amazing cubic human souls away for reprocessing. But the rocket ship doesn't even have a flame propelling it. That's some quality work right there. Quadroville. Don't look now, folks, but it's the same developers as the last game. The graphics and controls are near identical. The only difference in gameplay is that now you're hunting down bad guys.
How much patience do you have to keep playing this shit?
I give Rerez all the credit in the world. This is literally hell.
Instead of fantasy floating purple cubes. Can you imagine picking up the OUYA for the first time, booting it up, and excitedly downloading either of these FPS games because you happen to be a fan of first-person shooters? Well, I can, because I did. OUYA, this sure beats the hell out of Call of Duty.
OUYA.
Shady's Poopong. Someone took the time to make power-ups, original art assets,
Two turds reflecting a monkey's head eating tacos over top of a toilet.
I feel like there's a prediction for something that happened with NFTs in here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is literally the prototype for like the Ape Yacht Club right here.
Like where you actually have to like go through the sewers as like the apes to come up in people's toilets or something like that.
Yeah. The Bored Ape Yacht Club. This is literally it. Oh wow.
record a variety of sound effects and make a functioning Pong clone. What they didn't do was properly scrub their toilet. They put more effort into coloring the turd paddles. Now, that game might seem real crappy, but this here may be the crappiest of them all. Massive cleavage versus zombies. It's a pun, and also, it's not. The story's pretty intricate, so please bear with us. You play as a blonde woman called Blondie. It's not explicitly said, but it's implied that this character suffers from some type of buttoning up phobia, as her blouse lies permanently drawn to the sides through the entire experience.
She also has
Blondie
fake
starts
titties.
the game.
Yes.
Because they won't do that if you just have no bra on and like unbuttoned shirt.
Yeah. Basically, every time someone like has boobs like that, I imagine.
Only way they do that is if they're fake.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but every time like fake boobs are like that, I imagine the mom from Mean Girls, and every time you give her a hug, be like, ow.
Cleavage is made by bras most of the time.
Yes, which once again, this woman is not wearing a bra. Instead, she's literally just like partial tits just hanging out.
Stripper tits.
Yeah.
Sauce. From there, she meets a charming carjacker with a unique face. Blondie goes on a whirlwind zombie chopping spree before beginning a relationship that may fan the flames of romance. Ooh la la. This game taught me something special with its use of the OUYA controller. QuickTime events that last a fraction of a second, which require the player to press face button symbols they aren't completely familiar with, is a nightmare. Contrastingly, the base gameplay is as simple as move near enemy and either attack low or high with your cleaver. Take on zombie dogs, zombie bankers, zombie muscle dudes, and housewives that show absolutely no...
Basically just Karens. That's basically it. Here's the thing. These Karens aren't actually zombies. They're just Karens asking to see the manager, and she's like, fuck this.
Signs of any physical ailment. Cool. Do it all again and again and again and again and again. My two favorite parts of this game were 1, when the game crashed and locked up the first time I attempted to play it, and 2, when the game told me that the OUYA controller could suffer input lag and that I should use a PlayStation 3
You know, in exchange for that very important, most important part that they were very concerned with getting right, the controller.
Yeah. To which my response is, whoa, 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 whoa. Just
controller instead. You know what? I think we can stop right here, folks. A game developer who made a game for this console is telling us not to use the controller bundled with the console.
The most important part of this to us is the controller.
We really focus a lot on what gamers are looking for.
Wow. Saying that our time with OUYA has been a wild trip would be the understatement of the century. And OUYA, as a company, went on its own wild ride over its few years of service post-launch, from getting millions in investments to put its software in set-top boxes around the world to having its entire team and content library acquired by Razer in 2015. Even with its hardware discontinued in the acquisition, its software lived on well into 2019 before Razer finally pulled the plug on the storefront for good. And that about wraps up the compelling OUYA saga. This magical silver box was supposed to kickstart an indie games revolution. And well, they didn't. Have smartphones.
Them spending money on buying this shit off of them, the reason that I got a mouse from them that just fucking fell apart on me like back in like 2017 or something like that.
What, Razer?
Yeah.
Maybe. Razer doesn't really...
They're too poor to make good quality mice anymore.
No.
Home console, all poor execution. Turns out gamers had plenty of better options when it came to gaming on their... whatchamacallit?
For television.
Right.
Looks like Amy's confused.
Coconut hot. So yeah, there we go. That was wow. I'm gonna leave a like on that. So yeah, that was the worst ever, the OUYA failure by Rerez. Oh, the pain. The pain. I don't know what to say anymore except for just what could have been, man. What could have been with the right dev team, with the right marketing, with the right, the right games, just...
the right quality assurance plan. But I'm glad it doesn't exist anymore.
I am too. I am very much glad that it doesn't exist anymore.
I'm glad I never realized that this was a thing so that I didn't get scammed buying it.
There you go. Oh, and Scott the Waz did a video on micro consoles, and he talks about the OUYA quite a bit in it. So yeah, anyway, Rerez, thank you for experiencing that so we didn't have to. And again, to everyone out there who enjoyed this and want us to see more Rerez, feel free to let us know. Also, Steven, thank you, but also at the same time,
why?
Damn you. Oh, this hurt. This hurts so much to watch. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Be good people. Take care. Peace.